met Marco Sgarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
I met Marco Sgarza
Since opening for business in 2001, Chicagoland has established a rich history in its first decade of operation, particularly in IndyCar competition. In a series renowned for its photo finishes, the IndyCar Series has produced the two closest finishes in series history at Chicagoland, with Sam Hornish Jr. beating Al Unser Jr. by 24 one-thousandths of a second in 2002, and Elio Castro Neves piping Scott Dixon by 33 hundredths. 2008 season finale. Of course, neither Dario Franchitti nor Scott Dixon will soon forget the 2007 contest that saw the Scotsman win the race and the IndyCar Series title when Dixie ran out of fuel a half a lap from the finish. Chicagoland is no less competitive when the race car sport fenders. In fact, Kyle Busch is the only driver to win a NASCAR Cup Series race at Chicagoland from the pole, and only one other driver, Kevin Harvick, has qualified in the top 10 and won. Harvick also has the distinction of coming from the deepest in the field, 32nd, to win here at Chicagoland, while Dale Earnhardt Jr., 25th, Tony Stewart, 19th, also emerged victorious after starting deep in the pack. Tonight, it's the Lone Star Racing Cup Series Chicagoland 125, and it's next on HBR TV. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Joliet, Illinois, the Chicagoland Speedway for the Lone Star Racing Cup Series Season 2, the Chicagoland 125. Practice just about wrapped up here at the Speedway, about a minute remaining. Let's go trackside to see where everybody's shaking out. 30.04, the fast time on the board. It's the 05 of P.J. Cox. Again, less than a minute remains in the session. Then we got Sean Roberts, Jason Blaney, Zach Mecca new to the fold, and then Drew Blaze in fifth. Two nights in a row we've got racing here at Chicagoland Speedway. Last night it was the Black Horizon Truck Series season finale. Congratulations to Justin Bondurant taking home the Black Horizon Brewing Championship. Tonight's a regular scheduled race for the Lone Star Racing Cup Series. We're going to get right into qualifying here. Looks like Tommy Kohick first to park it on pit lane. We'll see if Tommy's going to roll. Here he is. Tommy Kohick out of Virginia. Tommy out of turn 2, down the back straightaway here, his first lap. Burps the throttle there in the middle of 3 and 4 just a bit. See where Tommy lands here as he crosses the stripe. 30.672, third quick. Go to Will Hewitt. Blaney takes the top spot, and then it's Coburn, Mecca, Hewitt is fourth on his first lap at 30.655. Little wiggle out of 4, gets it down to the apron. Lap 2 for Will Hewitt. Where does he land? A little bit quicker, third fast, 30.408. Matt Sisler on the track out of Oakland, Michigan. Number 93. Apex Tech Racing driver. Sisler at the line. 31.055, 12th quick. Corey Deal in the 9, the HBR TV colors. 30.865 his first lap. It's down the backstretch here, lap number 2. 30.479 puts him 10th on the board. Chris Goins out of turn 4. Still sporting the Oreo colors. 30.508 lap 1. It's 13th fast thus far. Goins out of turn 4, gets it down to the apron as well, right down to the grass, crosses the line. 7th quick. 30.344 seconds for Chris Goins. About everybody's gotten their laps into this point. Jonathan Arnn, Brandon Domain, Ken Blackburn, the only drivers at this point to not take a lap in qualifying. Right now, though, Drew Blaze, top of the board. Lap time 30.22. Zach Mecca just barely missing it. It's a 2.27 for Blaze. 2.28 for Mecca. It was 1/1000th of a second difference between Drew Blaze and Zach Mecca for the pole position here. Clock ticking down here. We're going to hit 5 minutes. 3 drivers opting not to qualify again. Jonathan Arnn, Brandon Domain, Ken Blackburn. Qualifying is official. 5-minute session here. All right, with that, let's take a look here at our starting grid for tonight's Chicagoland 125. On the pole position with a lap time of 30.227, it's the one of Drew Blaze. Outside front row, it's the number 23 of Zach Mecca. And you see it right there, folks. 1/1000th of a second difference between pole and P2. Watch Zach Mecca here tonight. Row number 2, Dave Coburn out of the New York State. Number 20 starts 3rd. PJ Cox was fast in practice. The 05 rolls off from the 4th starting position. Starting 5th, Chris Klein, the number 51 NTRL driver. Jason Blaney with Fueled Up Motorsports. Number 24 rolls off from the 6th starting position. Starting 7th, Right Turn Racing, the number 28, Chris Goins. Sean Roberts, the number 66 Shenandoah Shine Machine. He'll start from the 8th position, starting 9th. Another NTR driver, it's the 01 of Derek Welch. Starting in the 10th position, it's the 33 with Outcast Racing. It's Will Hewitt. Corey Deal rolls off from the 11th starting spot, the number 9 HBR TV entry. Starting 12th, Daryl Larson in the 5. 13th, the 08 of Ken Couch. Tommy Kohick, the 00, will start 14th. Jarrett Woodard out of Canada, number 79, starts 15th. Dane Lloyd in the 09, he'll start 16th. Matt Sisler with Apex Tech Racing, the number 93, starts 17th. 18th goes to Clay Atwood with Hot Lap Heroes, 111. Brandon Domain, the number 60, starting 19th. Ken Blackburn, 20th. And Jonathan Arnn, the number 43, rolling shotgun on the field in the 21st position. It's your starting grid for the Chicagoland 125 as the field begins to roll out from their starting positions. 1 lap behind the pace car. Will be under green the next time by. Now, I see Drew Blaze is in the pits. This might be the win penalty. He may have to start from pit lane here, given it amount of wins he has procured this season. Dave Coburn's going to slide up. I think Zach Mecca's still going to hang there in the outside lane. It's an interesting dichotomy here. If you have to start from the pits, it's not necessarily the end of the world. Of course, you got to worry about cautions and such. You got to work your way through the field. Maybe not starting from the pits, but that's one less lap under caution you got to use fuel for, though it may only be a tenth or two of a gallon. It may be the deciding factor later on. We'll see. Field working off of turn 4. Pace car peels down to pit road.
Green flag.
Barney the flagman waves the green. We're underway from Chicagoland Speedway. Lap 1 in the books. Mecca maintains the lead here. Coburn second. PJ Cox, Jason Blaney, Sean Roberts the top 5. On a turn number 2. Already 2 distinct packs here at the Speedway. Probably the top half of the field and the back half of the field spread apart here by about 15 car lengths or more. On to turn 4, Mecca still with the lead. PJ Cox, though, on the charge quickly to the outside. He's going to be battling for the lead here momentarily, right to the back bumper down into turn 1. Cox goes up the racetrack. Blaney and Mecca come together. Thought we were going to have a yellow early on. They get away with it. Now the battle for the lead. The 05, PJ Cox. The 23 of Zach Mecca. Mecca on the bottom lane. Blaney almost gets a piece of the wall on corner exit. Got Kevin Blue in the stream chat. Let's go, Jonathan Arn. LSR. And yes, Kevin Blue, to answer your question, there's no rush at all, my friend. No rush at all. I'll get you all the stuff and I'll let you know when we're ready to go. Ooh, Blaney just comes down across the nose of Mecca as PJ Cox gets out to the lead. Tell you, from what it looks like so far between practice to now, PJ Cox very comfortable here at Chicagoland Speedway, out in front of Jason Blaney, then Sean Roberts, Zach Mecca, and then Chris Klein, your top 5. Will Hewitt up 4 spots already in P6. Now a battle for the lead once again. Blaney now goes way to the bottom. PJ Cox with the run down into turn number 1, but Blaney's going to keep it on the low side. Shortest distance around the racetrack. Can he slide up in front of him? He can. Exit at turn 2. Maybe a crossover coming. No, maybe not. PJ thought about it, but he's still thinking about it. Down into turn 3. He's going to at least make a look to the inside. Roberts and Mecca there, 3rd and 4th. Top 4 drivers under a blanket across start finish, putting lap 7 up on the board. So 24 machine of Jason Blaney is taken over to the top spot. Word in the garage as of late, Jason Blaney's been getting a little pressure from the competition. And pressure, I mean, they kind of pointing the finger at him as of late. Maybe being too aggressive. It's not really a question that I can answer, but as a broadcaster, I'm all for it. Sure, the rest of the guys in the field that may or may not have had a run-in with the 24 might disagree, but Jason Blaney, you keep doing your thing. Makes for good TV. Wow, Sean Roberts is really diving it hard down to the bottom, trying to get to the inside of Zach Mecca there, but Mecca's going to take the second spot back. Roberts, though, up in that third position. Remember, he started in the 8th spot here today. I know we're only 9 laps in, but he's making short work of the competition. Solidly in the top 3. PJ Cox, some laps led out front. He still runs 4th. Good to be back here broadcasting the LSR Cup Series. We missed it last week. It was on the Bristol dirt track. From what I'm told, I think it worked out okay that we didn't end up broadcasting that one. Lots of cautions. It was a long night for many of these drivers. But we prevail. Again, 11 laps in here in the battle for the lead. Zach Mecca's Jason Blaney. Blaney on the bottom. Sorry, Blaney on the top, the number 24. Gets to the fence just a bit on exit. Pounds the outside wall with the right side of that Ford. Keeps his foot in the throttle. He's still trying to battle for that top spot. Mecca on the high side. Sean Roberts is going to try and follow through as well. So top 4 drivers have separated themselves pretty efficiently from the rest of the field here. The top 4 about a second and a half ahead of 5th on back. Derek Welch running in that 5th position. That's Will Hewitt in P6, Chris Klein in 7th. Dave Coburn started near the front of the field in 3rd. Coburn runs 8th. Corey Deal 9th position, and Chris Goins rounding out the top 10. We've got some of you guys watching the stream here right now. I don't know how many of you are the racers versus the viewers, but feel free to chime in the stream chat. We do welcome that. We'll keep it as open as possible. It's on a 60-second cycle, so once you put your message in there, you got to wait a minute. Not going to let you spam my chat. But again, you guys are certainly welcome to make your comments, who you're cheering for, where you might be watching from, anything. Just keep it PG for the kids. We'll all be good. Watching this battle here, it's Corey Deal and Chris Goins. Corey Deal in the number 9 HBR TV Camry. Chris Goins just in behind the number 28. He's rocking the Oreo colors again this week. Goins had a pretty good run there. Just had to check up there to not make contact with the 9. Couldn't get quite low enough to make that pass work. Back out front, Mecca still with the lead. Sean Roberts running in P2. That's Blaney and PJ Cox. Again, the top 4 starting to separate a bit here. Welch and Hewitt starting to separate themselves from the rest of that other pack, so they're kind of in their own little world right now. If they work together, which doesn't look like that's happening right now, they might be able to draft on up to those top 4 drivers and make it a 6-car battle. Close moment for Will Hewitt out of turn 2. Might have gotten a piece of the wall. If he didn't, it was a razor-thin margin. will say, though, these guys are starting to catch those top 4 drivers slowly but surely. Again, 19 laps in here at Chicagoland. Out the back window, on board PJ Cox's machine. Looking back at Derek Welch and Will Hewitt. All intents and purposes, they're there. They've closed the gap. They're part of this battle now. Oh, PJ Cox, a little connection issue. Might have got the fence there a bit. On board with Derek Welch. He's closing in fast here. He might be in position to make a move. Meanwhile, Drew Blaze runs back in the 18th spot. Did have to start from pit lane here tonight. Welch and Will Hewitt still battling for position now that they've caught this top 4. Welch might try to use the 05 of Cox as a pick. Slides up the racetrack, forces Will Hewitt to look to the outside on the Liquid Death machine. Meanwhile, Sean Roberts has taken over the top spot. Zach Mecca's falling back through the field here. I don't know if he got in the fence, hurt that race car, or if he's just trying to check up here. Save the tires for later on in the run, recognizing that this could go green for quite a while. Sure what happened there with Zach Mecca. I don't see any real damage on the car, but he's running that Larson line just inches off the wall. Good possibility he might have scraped the outside. He's back on the charge, working his way back towards the front. Roberts with the lead, Will Hewitt in second. Oh, going to the outside, almost contact with Jason Blaney. In here from Chicagoland Speedway. We're going to go HBR TV side by side. Stay with us. You won't miss a moment of the action. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
How you doing in there, kids?
Back at Chicagoland Raceway under our first caution of the night. Field working down into pit lane here to complete their first stops of the evening. Let's go back and look at it. Looks like Ken Blackburn involved in this one. Well, don't know the situation there. But let's ride on board Jonathan Arn. See what it looked like from his perspective. Blackburn's getting to his inside out of turn 4. He's clearly alongside, and then Arn just turns into him. I don't know what to make of that. It's too far out of the corner for it to be loose. Now, it's tough to say. We don't know what happened prior to that. Now, Blackburn did get there in a hurry, but he was half to three-quarter car length along by before Arn turned to the left. I can't imagine he didn't see him, but I guess it's a possibility depending on the field of view of the driver. First caution in the books. Pit stops completed. Looks like everybody went fuel and tires except for maybe PJ Cox. 11.6 seconds. It was either fuel only or right sides only. Hard to say. Drivers were allotted 3 sets of tires over the wall. Pace car pulls off. We're going to go back to green flag racing here.
Green flag.
Sean Roberts hung way back. He's going to beat the leader to the start here. I don't know how they're going to officiate that one. You cannot beat the leader back to start finish on the restarts. Not like that. PJ Cox slips all the way back to P7. Again, we well aware he didn't take 4 tires. Sean Roberts, P1. Down into turns 3 and 4. We'll see if this restart holds. It's my personal opinion. That was a big-time jump for the 66. He held back. He wasn't maintaining pace with the leader, and then he nailed it. Well, you watched it on the restart. See if it gets pulled back in another lap or so. I don't think it's going to if it hasn't by now. Watch it again here. Watch the 66 machine on the top side. Yeah, regardless of what happened with PJ Cox spinning the tires, it's not a good move. Roberts maintains the race lead, though, over the 23 of Zach Mecca. So once again, top 4 separated themselves from the rest of the pack. It's Roberts, Mecca, Welch, and Hewitt. Chris Goins moving himself up into the top 5. Drew Blaze starting from the pits. That caution helping him kind of get caught up. Up into the 5th position now, making a move on Chris Goins. 20 of Dave Coburn looking to the outside. Nothing open there. Yes, Drew Blaze has taken over the 5th position. Back up front, battle for the lead. Mecca goes to the bottom. Sean Roberts still topside. Mecca takes the lead away. Crossover from the 66. He's going to look down to the inside in 3. We'll see if Mecca can defend from the top lane. We saw it last night in trucks. Topside was the place to be, but now the bottom opens up the door for the pass. Crossover, nope, not to be. Derek Welch to the inside. No room for Mecca. Looks like Mecca and Welch both a bit faster than Sean Roberts here. 3 wide for the lead. No, Mecca checks up. Tucks back in behind too early for that kind of aggression. Smart racing move out of the 23. He's got pace on the 66. He's got time to worry about it, and he's got lots of laps to be concerned with before this one's over. Clears Derek Welch for the 2nd spot. Now 3 car lengths behind the 66 of Sean Roberts. Going to remount that charge. See if he can pull back to the back bumper and make a move for the lead here once again. Sun beginning to set here at Chicagoland Speedway. That's certainly going to affect track temperatures. Handling is going to change. They might tighten up just a bit. Roberts maintains the top spot. Mecca there in the 2nd position. Roberts still with a race lead, but Mecca's got his hands full with Derek Welch. Welch to the inside. The 01 tucking back in behind the 23, not enough to make the pass. Really, this is just going to open up the door for Roberts to increase his advantage over 2nd place. It's a half second as they work the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. Welch taking a peek at the inside once again. Derek Welch clears Zach Mecca for P2. Just under a 3/4 second advantage for Sean Roberts now over the 01 of Welch. Welch going to start to try and hunt him down. And I saw some sparks there just up ahead. I don't know if Roberts got into the fence a bit. Certainly closed the gap considerably. Slowed the momentum down the backstretch. Welch going to the inside for the race lead. Big wiggle once again for Sean Roberts. He keeps his foot in it. Leads that lap again. Roberts now with 100th over Welch. They're side by side effectively into turns 1 and 2. This allowed Hewitt to catch up to this group. Zach Mecca has slipped back to P4. He's about to go back to 5th with Drew Blaze to his inside. Mecca way up the racetrack, gets a piece of the wall. Looks like Derek Welch might have had a problem too. Either way, Drew Blaze is going to take the 4th position away. Mecca in the fence again on turn number 2. Tires falling off that machine already. He did take 4 at the pit stop. That was at lap 28, only 19 laps ago. Keep an eye on things in the race lead. Sean Roberts under fire now. Will Hewitt looking to the inside for the race lead at Chicagoland out of turn 4. Roberts maintains the top spot. He's going to dive down to the bottom, almost to the grass once again. Don't know if the 66 can maintain this level of aggression. Still keep the tires underneath them, but so far it's working. I don't know how well, though. Will Hewitt right there, looking for the lead down the backstretch. Big run for Hewitt down into 1, nowhere to go with it. Starting to seem that 66 might be holding Will Hewitt up. It's allowed Derek Welch to get to the back bumper a bit, but loose out of 4 is the 01. Dives it down to the bottom. Will Hewitt looking for the lead, not enough. Hewitt definitely fast out of turn 4. He builds that momentum down the main straightaway here. Opens up the move for the turn 1. Can't get it completed though. Car length and a half behind the 66. Closes right in. Stays tucked in behind now. Less than a car length off the back bumper of the 66 out of turn 2. Hewitt just barely off the outside wall. Will Hewitt stays up on the banking. Opens up the door again. Does he go to the bottom? Nope, looking high, but Roberts is going to take that lane away. Dump the dirty air on the nose of the 33. Out of turn number 2 once again. Hewitt's closer than he has been. Roberts goes the top side here. Hewitt now to the bottom out of turn 4. Haven't seen this just yet. Now Will Hewitt goes all the way down to the apron, near the grass. He's going to lead that lap. We've got a new leader here, lap 54, and Drew Blaze is down in the pit lane here under the green flag. I don't know if this is strategy-based or if he's got a problem. I don't see any damage on that number 1 machine. Right side's changed on the number 1 Lonestar Racing Ford Mustang. Crew goes around to the left. They drop the jack. Sunoco Race Fuel is in, and Drew Blaze is on his way. Back out front, Will Hewitt still with the race lead. Chris Goins now looking to the inside. All of a sudden, where did the 28 come from? Goins pit the same time as Will Hewitt, lap 28. In fact, that's the case all the way back to the 16th and Dane Lloyd. Chris Goins battling for the lead here at lap 56. He's got him clear, but he's got to get up in front of him. Will Hewitt's going to have the momentum out of turn number 2. Battling back is the 33. Bunch of battles here in the top 4. You got Goins and Hewitt for the top spot. You've got Sisler and Roberts for P3. Sisler cuts across the nose of the 66. Sean Roberts might try and cross over here. He's to the inside into turn 3. Now you've got the 60 of Brandon Domain topside. Familiar name from the LSR GT3 series. Certainly has a trick or two up his sleeve here on the oval side of things as well. Tommy Kohick down pit lane, the 00 Monster Energy machine. Tommy sporting the Monster Juice livery here tonight, one of the girlfriend's favorites. Stumble on exit, might have stalled it for a brief moment, but he gets on the way. Meanwhile, Chris Goins still the race leader here, but not by much. Will Hewitt fighting back on the outside. Battle for 3rd and 4th, still hot and heavy. Matt Sisler and Brandon Domain. Sisler on the bottom, Domain up top side of the number 60. Domain running the Ghost Energy colors tonight. Zach Mecca in pit lane here. Again, lap 60 of 125, quickly approaching halfway. Chris Goins finally clears Will Hewitt. Hewitt now has to battle with the 93 of Matt Sisler. All well knowing that pit stops under the green flag here coming soon to a pit box near you. Now the battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Sisler, Hewitt, and Domain. While Zach Mecca is in the pits. He's leading right now. Top 4 unchanged. It's an interesting tire strategy here. Drew Blaze made his pit stop when he did very early. It was at lap 57. Correction, lap 53. So you see Corey Deal down pit lane. Will Hewitt into the pits as well. So going back to that conversation we were just about to have about Drew Blaze's pit strategy. He came down at lap 53. It's 10 laps to go. Race leader still on the racetrack. We're looking at just over a full second, maybe 1.25 seconds of fall off as far as lap times are concerned. Blaze made his pit stop again at lap 53, so he's had about 10 laps Translation, about 10 seconds of track position gained since he exited the pits versus the guys that haven't pit yet. Now that could cycle back through. If we stay green all night long, we're going to see this teeter-totter, the seesaw, so to speak. Back and forth, back and forth. True Blaze, like you said, fastest right now based on his tire strategy, his tire call compared to the race leaders. But when they come down to pit, they'll get 4 fresh tires and then they'll be faster. Jason Blaney, Clay Atwood down in the pit lane as well. Jarrett Woodard included in that mix. Some of our leaders, Brandon Domain, Sean Roberts, both down in the pit lane. Definitely past the halfway point of this race thus far. Oh, Blaney might have got popped speeding on pit lane. He's been there for 40 seconds. If we get to about the 55-second mark, that's going to confirm it. 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, and he's down and away. Too fast on entry or unsafe entry, one or the other. Nevertheless, it's a 40-second penalty. That's over a lap. 24, Jason Blaney has to sit. Tough break for the 24. Top 5, only cars on the lead lap here. Only cars yet to hit pit lane. Chris Goins, Matt Sisler, Ken Couch, Derek Welch, Chris Klein. Here he comes, 93. Matt Sisler and Chris Goins both coming down pit lane. Goins did it as the race leader. Ken Couch is going to inherit the top spot. Derek Welch now to P2. Goins and Sisler down and away. Both quick stops, a 14.87 for Chris Goins. Matt Sisler, a 15 flat. Ken Couch still with the race lead here. The top 3 drivers, Couch, Welch, Klein. Last pit stop, lap 28. Gone 43 laps, it appears, on this set of tires. Will Hewitt going to go by and get his lap back the old-fashioned way. Ken Couch finally coming down pit lane. Derek Welch, though, stays on the racetrack. He's going to pick up some points to lead the laps here. Klein goes into P2, so it's an NTR top 2 right now, lap 72. Couch finishes up his pit work, 15.25 seconds. Derek Welch now down the pit lane as well. A little bit of right side damage on the 01 of Derek Welch. Gets it fixed right away. That seemed a bit much to use a fast repair for, but either way, it's gone now. Right sides have been changed. Crew goes around to the left. Left side's in the air. Fresh Goodyear Racing Eagles all the way around. Sunoco Racing Fuel, Derek Welch down and away, 14.93 seconds. Chris Klein, he's going to be the last to hit pit lane on this cycle. Don't look now, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about this and how much track position Drew Blaze was going to be able to chew up against everybody else that remained on the racetrack. Drew Blaze, with that pit strategy, finds himself in the lead with a 3.6 second advantage over second place running driver Will Hewitt. Will Hewitt made his pit stop at lap 62, 9 laps later than Drew Blaze. Now, with that said, let's look at the lap times. Last lap for Will Hewitt, a 30.68. Drew Blaze, 31.06. So Will's going to cut into that margin here pretty soon, but if this continues, if we stay green the whole way, Blaze continues with that strategy, it could pay off. With that said, though, we're going to get to an HBR TV side-by-side break out of the way. Pit stops are complete. We'll be back after this. Stay with us.
I met Marco Sgarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Chicagoland Speedway, lap 83 in the books. Drew Blaze with the race lead. Brandon Domain now up into P2, taking that spot away from Will Hewitt. 3 laps fresher tires for Domain, but Will Hewitt was really not able to close the gap between himself and Drew Blaze. Now that might have been more related to the battle he was having with the 60, but we'll see if Brandon Domain can reel in Drew Blaze with much fresher tires. Going about 12 laps newer. Deficit 2.67 seconds for Domain. His last lap at 31.11 to Drew Blaze, 31.38. So we're looking at a couple of tenths, maybe 3 to be maxed. Deficit certainly shrinking here. It's down to 2.1 seconds between Blaze and Brandon Domain. Domain just out of turn 4. Sorry, Blaze just out of 4. Domain 1.85 seconds in the rears. In all reality, we may see Drew Blaze back down pit lane here relatively soon. So lap 53, we saw guys go between 35 and 45 laps on a set of tires or a tank of fuel, depending on what your pleasure is. I almost half expect if Domain catches Drew Blaze and makes the pass, I think that's when you're going to see the one peel off and hit pit lane, kind of work that undercut once again. Now under a second. Let's see Blaze and Domain in the same picture here. Will Hewitt's going to try that strategy. He's going to come down and undercut everybody here at lap 89. Now, in all intents and purposes here, if he pits right now, which, well, he is, that should get him to the end of this race. So we saw Chris Klein go, I believe, 40 to 45 laps. This could be the last stop for Will Hewitt. 33 is down and away. See how it pans out for Will Hewitt. Meanwhile, Drew Blaze out in front. Brandon Domain 4 tenths, not even, out the rear window. 36. Not even. Yeah, 36 laps to go. I'm losing it. Now it's 35 again. Blaze with the lead, but for how long? Brandon Domain is right there. Domain goes to the bottom, takes the top spot on a turn 4. Drops it down to the apron to get that shortcut. New race leader, lap 91. Brandon Domain out in front here in the number 60 Chevrolet. Ghost Energy Machine. And what did I say? What did I say not 5-10 laps ago? As soon as Drew Blaze gets passed for the lead, I would expect to see him down pit lane. Well, my prophecy is coming true. Drew Blaze down pit lane here, lap 92-93. His final stop of the day, unless we get a yellow. Though he might be out of tires. That could be the case too. That first pit stall. Right sides are in the air. Crew goes around to the left. And Sisler now down pit lane. Blaze down and away. 14.8 seconds. Good stop. Actually, 14.48 seconds for Drew Blaze. Very quick stop for the driver of the number 1 machine. And Sisler down in pit lane as well. His final stop of the day. Sisler down and away, 15.42 seconds. Well, out front, Brandon Domain with a race lead. Chris Goins running in P2, not too far behind. Here comes Corey Deal down into the pits. His final stop of the afternoon as well. HBR TV Toyota Camry. Losing connection for a moment there. That's a scary sight to see. Corey Deal back in the running though. 15.28 seconds his pit stop. Dave Coburn running in the 7th position. He's on the pit lane as well. Tires and fuel for Coburn. He's down and away. Derek Welch, Sean Roberts also in the pits. Oh, Sean Roberts has to back up. Overshot the pit box just a bit. Welch is down and away. That might have been 2 tires only for Derek Welch. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. See if Derek Welch can make that one pay off. That's a tough one to do here. We'll see how the car handles here on 2 tires. It's a 10-second stop for Derek Welch. Sean Roberts, 16.2. Again, he had to back up in the pit box. Race leader Brandon Domain down pit lane. Has to back it up as well. Again, Domain started 19th here today. Comes in as the race leader. Good stop for Brandon Domain, 14.78 seconds. Ken Couch in the 08, now your race leader, remains on the racetrack. His pit stop came at lap 71. Certainly off cycle from the rest of these drivers. Couch has an 18.5 second advantage over second place Clay Atwood. Zach Mecca comes down pit lane. Atwood running P2 in the 111. Oh, he's in the wall. Scraping the right side. That's not going to help your cause. Loses a couple of spots. Will Hewitt now up into the 2nd spot. Drew Blaze runs P3. So in that pit cycle, Hewitt was able to leapfrog Drew Blaze just with the fresher tires. Now we've got 25 laps to go. Hewitt's pit stop at lap 88, Drew Blaze lap 92, so 4 laps tire difference between the two of them. Blaze, of course, with the fresher tires. We have seen, though, as the longer these runs go on, the tires kind of equalize from one to the other. I don't think 4 laps of tire degradation is going to be that big of a deal here late in this race. Blaze might still get around Hewitt, but he's still setting himself up for a solid finish. And again, this would be ultimately for the race lead because Ken Couch is going to have to pit, I believe. Maybe not. 71, was this the last pit stop? That's a 54 lap run. I can't imagine he's going to be able to make it that far. So Hewitt has the lap car of Jarrett Woodard between himself and Drew Blaze. He's also got Jason Blaney in the mix, and that's going to be difficult for Drew Blaze as well. Blaney has a little bit fresher tires, I believe. Yes, he does. Lap 96 was his pit stop. Chris Goins goes on by. He takes the position. He's P3. Lap 97 was the pit stop for Chris Goins, but he continues to fight it out with Drew Blaze. Off turn 2 down the backstretch, side by side, the 28 and the 1. Jarrett Woodard way up the racetrack. Jason Blaney trying to push 33 of Hewitt. Blaney's going to try and work his way back towards the front here and try and get a lap back. Remember, Blaney got popped for speeding on pit entry. 40-second penalty. Blaney's actually 3 laps down. It was his pit cycle that hurt him, and then the penalty added on. Worst case scenario. Chris Goins down to the outside of Will Hewitt. This could effectively be for the race lead at some point. They're certainly closing ground on Ken Couch, but I am almost certain Ken Couch will need to make one more pit stop before this one's out. Goins, Will Hewitt, Drew Blaze. There's 3 cars there, all for position. Jarrett Woodard at the back of that pack. That is not for position. Woodard, the first car, 1 lap down. And Ken Couch comes down pit lane. So race leader goes to Chris Goins. $19 laps to go. Truthfully, right now, Chris Goins in the best position he could be in. He's just crossing his fingers here to hope this thing goes green all the way to the end. His pit stop came at lap 97. Drew Blaze was lap 92, so 5 laps older. Then Will Hewitt was lap 88, 9 laps older. Watch out for Brandon Domain. His pit stop came at lap 98. He's got the freshest tires within the top 5. 18 to go. He's got 5 3/4 seconds to make up to catch Chris Goins. So as we suspected, the battle we were watching for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th has become the battle for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It's Chris Goins, Drew Blaze, Will Hewitt. Driver in the best situation here, comparative to Chris Goins, is Brandon Domain. 1 lap newer tires than Chris Goins, but the longer this run goes on, the less of an advantage that's really going to be. Domain's last lap, 30.46, about 3.5 tenths quicker than Chris Goins. Still got a lot of ground to make up, though. 5.3 seconds and 16 laps. Goins still maintaining the race lead over Drew Blaze. Just over a half-second advantage. Jarrett Woodard making a move around Will Hewitt. Woodard with about 5 lap newer tires than the 33. He's on a charge trying to get back to the front here to get a lap back. He's currently the lucky dog driver here. If the caution does come out, he'll get the lap back anyway. But if he can get back towards the front, take it back the old-fashioned way, that's even better. 14 laps to go. Oh, we hit somebody in the wall. I think it was the 111. Clay Atwood just bouncing it off the safer barrier. No caution. Zach Becker closing in. He's in a position now. He wants to get his lap back as well. He goes around Will Hewitt. Continues the march to the front. In fact, if he gets by Jarrett Woodard, he'll become the lucky dog driver. .12 laps to go. Chris Goins with the race lead over Drew Blaze. It's maintained about 6 to 7 tenths here over the last couple of laps. Jesse Redding in the stream chat says, "Let's go Oreos." Jesse, I could go for some Oreos myself right about now. Chris Goins extending the lead now. It's 8 tenths of a second with 11 laps to go over Drew Blaze. Brandon Domain now up into the third position here, now 4.5 seconds back. He's cutting into that lead, but I don't think he's cutting into it fast enough. I think the only thing at this point that would really kill Chris Goins would be a caution. If this goes green to the end, I think he's in pretty good shape. Goins getting Tommy Kohick here, putting the 0-0 machine a lap down. Chris Goins out of turn number 2, 9 laps to go. He's now got 1.1 seconds on Drew Blaze. Ken Couch with the freshest tires on the racetrack, though. He is not on the lead lap, or is he? He is not. Back third in line in that respect. Running in the 11th spot. 1 lap down. Drew Prale in the stream chat says if the space stays with 1 or 2 to go, Dom should be there. I don't know, 7 laps to go. It's still 4.5 seconds. I don't think Domain's gaining enough ground. Last lap for Domain, a 31.01. Goins was a 31.08. We're talking 0.07 of a second faster for Domain. I don't think that's enough here with 6.5 laps to go to catch Chris Goins. It's one thing to catch him. You got to pass him too. Six laps remain for Chris Goins. 1.8 seconds back to Drew Blaze. Keep in mind, if Domain continues the charge towards the front, granted he is 2.6 seconds behind Drew Blaze, he's got to catch Drew Blaze, then pass Drew Blaze without losing too much time, and then set sail for Chris Goins. Certainly a tall task. I won't say it's impossible, but the numbers are dictating that it could be. Again, with 5 laps to go, still 4.5 rounded up. Brandon Domain. And it's kind of what we talked about. Drew Pereil says, I meant pace, and the pace has fallen off. And it's kind of what we talked about with the tires kind of equalizing. There's an advantage early in the fresh tire versus the worn tire, but if there's 5, 10, even 12 laps between you and the next guy, the longer in the run you go, the closer those lap times become, and there's less of an advantage to have new tires underneath you. Starting to see that really come true here right now at Chicagoland. Chris Goins with the race lead, 2.3 seconds back to Blaze, 4 seconds back to Brandon Domain with less than 4 laps remaining. Chris Goins comes to the stripe here. It's going to be 3 laps to go. Fingers crossed for no cautions. That's going to change a bunch of things if that happens. I don't think anybody else has tires on pit lane, but it would certainly group everybody back up, set us up for a restart here with worn tires. Could be a recipe for disaster or maybe just a thrilling finish, but we'll see. Chris Goins out of turn 4 again. Now 2 laps remain for the number 28 Oreo machine of Chris Goins. He was promised a big case of Oreo cookies if he won this race. Less than 2 laps to go. He can taste it. Out of turn 4, Barney's got the white in hand. White flag, last lap for Chris Goins. Chris Goins qualified in the 7th position here this afternoon. Has worked the tire strategy in his favor. Down the backstretch for the final time, Chris Goins, a couple of more corners, and he'll see a checkered flag as he closes in on Sean Roberts. He's going to put Roberts a lap down or more. In fact, Roberts might have had a different issue, but he was battling for the race lead early on. Doesn't matter. Checkered flag waves. Chris Goins is going to win the Chicagoland 125. Drew Blaze is going to come home in the 2nd position. Brandon Domain, P3. Matt Sisler, 4th. Will Hewitt is solid top 5. Chris Goins, your race winner here from Chicagoland. Jonathan Arndt, I got some Oreos and milk in Winner's Circle. Chris Goins. Clearly a very happy Chris Goins here on the front stretch, burning it down, ripping up the grass. With that, we'll step aside here, get our final break out of the way, have our top 3 finishers in the broadcast booth after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back to Chicagoland Speedway. The Chicagoland 125 Lone Star Racing Cup Series is in the books. Chris Goins with the checkered flag taking home the race win here tonight. Let's get a word with the driver of the number 28 Oreo Chevrolet Camaro. Chris Goins, it's Steve in the broadcast booth. Are you with us?
Hey, what's up, Steve?
Doing well, sir. Congratulations. Brought home a win here tonight in the LSR Cup Series at Chicagoland. You started back in the 7th position tonight. Slowly but surely worked your way towards the front a couple of times, certainly through pit cycles. But walk us through that pit strategy and when you came down, kind of maximized the tire life and got yourself out in the front of this field. Walk us through it.
Well, at the beginning I just could not figure the car out for some reason. I was so snappy loose, and then I realized that I was just not driving it hard enough, surprisingly enough. So, but you know, that middle stint where Drew pitted early the first time, I drove it as long as I possibly could on fuel, and I pitted. It was somewhere around 55, 60 to go, something like that. And I knew with a 40 lap stint that I would obviously have to pit with about 20 laps left if I maximized that. So I actually ended up pitting a few laps after Drew and those guys because I thought maybe if I pitted early enough, I could catch the left side's in good enough shape to take 2. So I took 2 on that last stop to make up the distance between me and Drew and Will to try and cut that time down that way. And luckily it worked.
Certainly didn't even realize that you took 2 tires on that stop. A 9.93 second pit stop gains you about 5 seconds on the racetrack. That is a pretty significant margin. Very impressive, though, that you were able to hold off those guys lap time-wise. Last time by, you ran a 31.39. Drew Blaze was a 31.73 with 4 tires versus your 2. So job well done, sir.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it felt great on 2. I was just happy to be able to maintain the speed enough to stay up front.
Well, with that, next week we go to something that's actually somewhat familiar to you. It's road racing. We go to Watkins Glen International. How do you feel about your chances on the road course next week?
Chances? I mean, I enjoy road racing. Watkins Glen is by far my favorite road course there, but you know, I feel pretty confident with about a solid top 5. I don't know that I'll have get another win under the belt, but especially I think I get an EOL there too, which may not be a horrible thing, but you know, I enjoy it a lot. So we'll see. Hopefully I can grab another top 5 out there.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to it. You know, I'm a big fan of Watkins Glen, and a lot of the other drivers out here in the league are as well. But we're going to let you go, Chris. Again, congratulations on the race win here tonight at Chicagoland. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you run?
Yeah, I want to shout out to you know, LSR for putting the league on, specifically Drew for putting the setup together. I know we had to make a few changes after the updates to the next gen, so he did a heck of a job with the setup. We all appreciate it. You for broadcasting, you know, you always do a heck of a job and enjoy going back and watching these. So my guys over at Right Turn Racing, Jesse Redding, Chris Elliott, Joe Tucker, those guys. Eric Dotson Agency, we actually do have them on the car, so I don't know if this counts as a win for them, but we'll count it. And now I got to go get some milk and cookies.
I'm pretty sure Eric Dotson's a big fan of Oreos as well, so I think we'll call this a win.
Fair enough.
Chris, congratulations, man. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck next week at the Glen.
I appreciate it, Steve. Thanks.
It's Chris Goins, your race winner here at Chicagoland. Next, we're going to go to runner-up Drew Blaze and get a word with the driver of the number 1 Lone Star Racing machine. Drew, it's Steve in the booth. You with us?
Yes, sir.
Drew, congratulations, man. A second-place finish. You had some pace out there, had some pit strategy that almost paid off. The difference between the win, I think, might have been 2 tires. Goins taking 2, yourself taking 4. Not quite enough to catch him there late. Walk us through your race and your strategy, and was there anything you thought about that you could have done differently?
Yeah, I mean, I really definitely had a plan before we got that last caution there, but you know, it is what it is, and it ended up basically how I wanted after I, you know, went through it all again in my head. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything I could have tried to, but I really thought 4 would be better than it was, but I don't know. It seems like something with taking 2 tires and the mile and a half here that I got to look into, because it seems to be very overpowered here.
It's very interesting. We see it with some guys, they'll try it in the truck series and take 2 tires and they'll just get eaten alive, but it doesn't seem to apply so much here in the Next Gen Cup car.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's almost like, I know it makes you like looser, so that's my thought process is maybe you just get a better turning out of it. You don't got to crank the wheel so much when it does come around to getting tighter. So I don't know, but I definitely have to do some learning there. But good call on Chris's part. I did not even think about it in any way, shape, or form. I was like, oh, it's going to take 4. That's what I've been doing the whole race. So.
Well, you bring it home here in the second spot. Still a good run tonight. Good points day for sure. Next week we go into Watkins Glen. Certainly much different, but this car relatively adapted and engineered for road racing. How do you feel about your chances out at the Glen next week?
I feel really good. The officials at COTA, I got a win a couple weeks ago, and that kind of boosted my confidence with this road stuff with these cars. So can't be any more happy about that. But I think it's going to be a good race. Watkins Glen always a fun place to go, and I'm sure Chris will be up there winning that one too, more than likely. So, but no, just super proud of all these guys and all these guys that continue to race here and support us day in and day out. Couldn't be more happier with the way things are going.
Well, you guys certainly put on a great race here tonight. Again, congratulations on P2, Drew. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Lonestar Racing, Garza Law Firm, Mike Fahey, Justin Johnson, all my guys that support me day in and day out. They know who they are. And just again, everybody in this league here, it's been a blast. And let's keep it going, guys.
All right, Drew. Again, congratulations. Good luck next week at the Glen, and thanks for chatting with us.
Thank you, and thank you for being the broadcaster as well. Oh, can't forget that.
Happy to do it. Thanks, Drew.
Appreciate it.
It's Drew Blaze, your runner-up here at Chicagoland. Next is Brandon Domain. Speaking of guys that have been running some road course races as of late, it's the driver of the number 60 Ghost Energy Camaro. Brandon Domain, it's Steve in the booth. You got us?
I do. How's it going?
It's going well, Brandon. I know we've watched you run a lot of GT3 stuff this season, but you plop yourself down into a next-gen Cup car here on the Oval, and you bring it home P3. I don't know you personally, but is this more your forte versus the road course, or you just kind of have a lucky night? I mean, walk us through. What's your strategy? What's your talents here on the Oval side?
Well, for the first question, I think it's a bit of both. I definitely didn't expect P3 tonight, that's for sure. I just kind of came in and the league I was running ended a couple weeks ago, and thought I'd check it out and check out LSR's side and maybe make the switch over and just kind of feel it out. But definitely run more Cup or more Oval than anything growing up and all that stuff. So a little bit more of the bread and butter. Do love GT3 though. That's been a lot of fun, kind of working on the road side. But this is a little bit more my speed, and just came in just to kind of study and have a good time, and did not expect P3, that's for sure.
Well, P3 is what you ended up with, so again, congratulations at that. But next week, it's a combination of a little bit of column A and column B. We've got the Oval car on the road course, next-gen Cup car at Watkins Glen next week. How do you feel about your chances with all the experience that you've been getting here in the LSR GT3 series?
I do enjoy the road courses a whole lot. I think that actually might be more my favorite discipline compared to Oval, just because I like the challenge. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm good at it, but I just enjoy the challenge of it. But it's a little different with the Cup car than the GT3, that's for sure. But I think as long as you can survive the first couple laps, especially that first lap, maybe put together something decent and have another strong showing, that'd be great. But either way, I know I'm jumping in late in the season, so just kind of, putting some runs together when I'm able to the rest of the way, and just kind of enjoying the run.
Well, you certainly proved that you belong here in the LSR Cup Series on the Oval, regardless of how the rest of the season goes, man. So congratulations on a top 3 finish, and who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Tell you what, just I don't have any partners or anything because just a little part-time run, but definitely want to thank everybody over at LSR. Jumped into the GT3 division this season for the first time and really been enjoying it and really enjoyed this race also. It's nice to see good, clean, respectful racing, and we had a lot of that tonight. I want to give you a shout out, not just for tonight, but for giving up the time in all these divisions and doing everything. Done a little bit of the broadcast side here and there in other leagues, and know it's a challenge. It's a lot to take on, and definitely appreciative of that. But yeah, no partners, no sponsors, or anything like that to shout out. So just everybody here that's helping out with the league.
Well, Brandon, certainly appreciate the kind words. It definitely helps pay the bills, but it's good to get that pat on the back once in a while. So again, congratulations to you, though. Certainly good luck next week there at the Glen, and thanks for chatting with us, man.
I appreciate it.
It's Brandon Domain, your third place finisher here at Chicagoland Speedway. It's going to wrap it up for the interview portion of our broadcast. Let's take a look at our official race results. Of course, we talked to our top three finishers, Chris Goins, Drew Blaze, Brandon Domain. Fourth place finisher was Matt Sisler. Fifth went to the 33 of Will Hewitt. Derek Welch was P6. Corey Deal was 7th. Dave Coburn 8th. Ken Couch 9th. Zach Mecca was P10. Tommy Kohick 11th. Jarrett Woodard was 12th. PJ Cox was 13th. Clay Atwood brought it home in the 14th finishing position. 15th went to Chris Klein. Jason Blaney, after a pit road penalty, he finishes 16th. Ken Blackburn 17th. Dane Lloyd 18th. Sean Roberts, after being out front leading some laps, don't know really what happened with the 66. It was 9 laps down here in the 19th position. Daryl Larson was 20th, and Jonathan Arnn 99 laps down in 21st. Just really have to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Thanks for watching the broadcast. Thanks for those who jumped into the stream chat. We do appreciate that. Any one of you that's still out there watching, if you haven't remembered to hit the like button on the stream, that's probably the most important thing you'll do tonight when it comes to Lonestar Racing, is hit that like button. It definitely helps push all of these live videos, whether it's LSR or elsewhere, out to a wider audience. It gets brand new eyeballs on HBR TV, which means new eyeballs on Lonestar Racing. It's a win-win. Certainly, please, it doesn't cost you guys anything but 2 seconds of your time. Click that like button before you get out of the stream here tonight, and thank you all for watching. If you haven't already checked it out, find us on HBR TV, the1.com. We've got a couple of hot links for Facebook and YouTube for the social media side of things. Also, some contact information if you need to message us or email us at hollerboysracingtv@gmail.com. Also, the ability for, you get the photo stream. I guess you got a photo gallery there for our top three finishers each race. And also the ability to find the live stream there each and every week. The live tab up in the top right of the screen on the website. So you can, if you forget where we're watching from or where we're broadcasting from, you can certainly find us there at hbrtv1.com. It's going to wrap it up again for us here at Chicagoland Speedway. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV, congratulating Chris Goins on the race win here tonight, the Chicagoland 125. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't miss next week at the Glen. It's going to be a good one. Have a good night, everybody.